Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So this tutorial, as you can see, is my interpretation of a sugar skull. As I mentioned during the video, you really can do whatever you want with this type of look, any colour scheme, any gemstone patterns, whichever it is you prefer. I just thought this was quite an easy tutorial for those of you who kind of want to look cool on Halloween but don't necessarily want all the fake blood, etc. going on. This is also pretty much a Dios de los Muertos look. Sorry, please excuse my phone. So I really hope that you guys enjoy this tutorial. Do give it a thumbs up if you enjoy, and I'll be back with some other tutorials later on in October. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all soon. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to pop on a really pale base. So I'm going to start with using this Rimmel Match Perfection in the colour Light Porcelain. It's the lightest colour they do. I may then go in with some white face paint, but I want to see if I can get the effect with the foundation first, just because it feels nicer on the skin than face paint does. So I'm just going to pump this straight onto a dry Real Technique sponge. The reason I'm using this dry is I want quite thick coverage, because I really want to kind of blot out all my freckles and any other colouring to make it completely clear base. So I'm just going to push this onto the skin. As you can see, it is paler than my actual colour at the moment. Okay, so I'm definitely looking pasty. I might pop on just a little bit of white face paint just to make it even whiter. Just taking this down my neck as well and on my ears. I'm now going to move on to my brows. I'm going to make them super dark, even though they won't stand out too much once I have the eyes on, but I still want them to be in place. So I'm going to use MAC Black Tracks for this, but any black eyeliner would do, whichever one you have. I'd recommend just using a gel eyeliner though, because it'll be easier to work with. Or you could use face paint if that's what you have, whatever's easier. So I'm just going to use this is a brush by Revlon. I normally use my MAC 266 for filling in my brows, but I don't really want to get it all clogged up with black eyeliner, so I'm going to just switch to this one. Just going to quickly brush through them with a spoolie just to make sure if any face paint's got in there, that's combed out. Luckily my brows are quite dark already, so it's just going to be filling in this front area here to make them look a bit harsher. So quite a good tip if you are using a gel eyeliner. I also do this with brow pomades, anything of this consistency, is just to first of all take the brush and just completely swirl it in just to warm up the product. It's then less likely to be bitty. I got that tip off one of the Benefit Brow girls when she was doing my brows, and it's definitely, I've seen such a better effect now that I've started doing that. So I've loaded up my brush, just going to start at the front here and just carve them out, following the natural line of my brow. If you have smaller brows, at this point you might want to make them thicker, but whatever suits you. You just need them to be dramatic for this look. Now I'm just taking a small angled brush and some of the white face paint just to clear up on top. Okay, so now moving on to the eyes, I'm going to be using this black face paint here. Again, you could use black gel liner, face cream, anything that works for you. This little kit I picked up from Primark for £3.50. Comes with all of these colours, a black, a white, a sponge and a brush, so perfect. Because for things like fancy dress, you don't want to fork out on having to buy a whole new kit. If it's only something you're going to use once a year for Halloween, for example. But if you're not from the UK, Amazon have so many on there as well, so there's definitely some for everybody's price range. So I'm mainly for this look going just to be using the black. So I'm going to use the brush that came with it, which just is a flat brush. And I am going to be dipping it in water first just to make it a bit easier to work with. So I'm basically going to go completely up to my brow, around my eye to then join it back again. Now that that's filled in, I'm just going to go in and fill in my waterline with a black liner. Right, I'm going to get the other eye to the same stage and then I'll be back. Okay, so what I've just done after putting the face paint on is I've gone over the top with a black eyeshadow. I think this is probably the most important step to stop the face paint creasing and when it kind of mixes with the natural oil on your eyes, kind of coming apart and showing your skin through. I would recommend though not using your favourite or an expensive black eyeshadow because if you are using the brush and then going back into the pan, it does start to create a film on top of the eyeshadow where you're transferring face paint. So I just used an old one that was in a palette that I don't use very often, or just go out, you know, to Superdrug and just buy one that's really, really cheap, just so you're not ruining one like a MAC one or a Morphe one that you've spent a bit more money on. So I'm going to leave my eyes for the time being and come back to those later. I'm now going to focus on drawing the sort of patterns around my forehead and around the rest of my face. So again, using the same black face paint, but I'm going to now switch to this Tarte liner brush. So it's very thin and much easier for doing precise work. So I'm going to start with not very much paint on the brush, just while I draw out my outline. So if I make any mistakes, I can go in and correct it without having to remove half of my forehead makeup as well. So just starting from the middle of my brow, and first of all drawing two lines that curve. So as you can see, I'm doing this very faintly. So then I'm just going to draw a dome and then three more lines coming out. Okay, so once you've got your basic shape, then just fill in this bottom triangle here. And then just go back over your lines that you've traced just to make them now darker and stand out. Okay, so I'm going to leave that to dry and move on to my nose. So again, working with the Tarte liner brush. I'm just going to start from the bridge of my nose and work my way down. Then switching to the bigger original brush, it's easier for sort of filling in and shading. Okay, and then moving on to the lips, just going to start from the corner of my lip and bring it round up to my hairline, sort of almost though you're contouring in line with your ear. Okay, so now moving on to the fun part where we can get some colour and decorating involved. Now you can make your sugar skull any colour you want, any theme that you want. I've decided to kind of go with red purples, mainly because I found this really cool body art kit from Primark. Again, I'm sure you can get something very similar on Amazon, which has lots of different sort of diamonds and sequins that can be used, and it also gives you an outline of where each should go, which is obviously really helpful. Especially if you don't want to have to faff around with all this face paint, you can pretty much just do this and still be good to go. So I'm just going to start by placing these at different areas and kind of make it up as I go along really and see what looks best. So I'm just going to start placing these small red gems around the eye. I am using tweezers to place these on, just to make it a little bit easier. Lots of these gems will come with sticky backs, but if you're finding it's not sticking, you can also use eyelash glue as well. Okay, so I'm then going to take these two tear-shaped ones and stick these at the end of my cobwebs. And then take these two red ones for the other two. So you can really get creative with this and pretty much make up the pattern as you go along. Okay, so I've just gone a bit crazy with all of the gems and diamonds, and also just drawn a swirl here with the face paint again. So now I'm going to draw the rest of the lines on my mouth. And I'm actually going to use the LA Splash Lip Couture in the colour Venom. I just thought this would be easier on my lips than face paint. I'm going to still use the Tarte brush and just take a little bit off the doe foot applicator. Then I'm just going to draw straight lines down. And then just to finish off, I'm going to take some of these teeth-shaped diamonds and just put them on top and below. Okay, so then all there's left to do is fit your favourite floral headband and we are done. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this look. As I said, you can use any colour combination, use any pattern of gems. This is just an idea. So have a happy Halloween, whatever it is you're doing, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you for watching.